welcome to InFocus YXE. After a brief hiatus, we're back to the air. Welcome to Saskatoon's blurriest game show. I'm excited tonight. We have a special episode, longer than usual. We have 9 photos instead of our usual 3. And I'm joined by City Archivist Jeff O'Brien. Mr. O'Brien, how are you this week?
I am excellent. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for asking. It's a special episode because we're going to do this episode as part of Heritage Festival Saskatoon, which started, I think, earlier a few days ago, and it continues throughout this week. So instead of having pictures from around Saskatoon, we are actually going to have pictures from the past, which is why you're here.
That's right.
Is that right, Jeff?
Yeah, old things, old guy. Yeah, we fit together.
And it's going to be wonderful. These are going to be pictures, historic photos that Jeff has selected from around Saskatoon. We're going to show them to you, and you get to guess who it is. This is how we play the game, is that we'll show you the picture, and it's going to slowly come in focus over time. If you think you know what it is, you guess in the comments. First person to guess wins bragging rights for the photo. And they can say, I guessed the photo. We're also excited, Jeff, because this week we have 5 prizes to give away. So anybody who comments anytime, whether it's a comment on it's a great show, or whether it's a guess, they'll be entered. And at the end of the show, we're going to do a random draw for 5 prizes. And that's really exciting. They're all connected to the Heritage Festival. And we're really thankful for the Heritage Festival to give those prizes. Now, one quick thing here to mention. The rules are available. The full rules are available at noyxe.com/contest-rules. You can go there to find it. But at the end of the day, Jeff and I get to decide really what it is. There's one rule in there that says we get to decide who wins and all that stuff. So it overrides all the other rules. Jeff, are you ready to give it a shot?
I'm totally ready. I was born ready, Ian.
Why don't we get up the first photo here and see if I can get this added to the stream. There it is.
I know.
You know. That's it. Usually when we play and Damien's available, and unfortunately Damien's not able to be with us tonight, Damien knows, or does not know, so it's part of it. But here it is, our first photo. And I think it's safe, Jeff, I can say this is a black and white photo.
It is, yeah. Yeah, very much so. Shades of gray, really.
This is true. And what's going to happen here, Jeff, is going to get in a little more focus in a couple seconds here. There we go. Here it comes. And if you think you know what it is, please feel free to guess. So the other thing, Jeff, is that we find that there's actually about a 10 to 15 second delay. So we see the photo, but we have to wait for people, the delay in the broadcast, for them to actually see it. So sometimes the guesses are delayed. Jeff, as City Archivist, could you share with us some exciting things that you get to do in your job while we're waiting?
Oh, you know what? The City Archives is a public institution, so we deal with the public all the time. We deal, because of the magic of the internet, people from all over the world literally come banging on our door, and they ask for information about Saskatoon or its history, or about their personal history. A couple of years ago, we got the Star Phoenix collection from the Provincial Archives Saskatoon office closed, moved to Regina, and they gave us the Star Phoenix photograph collection. So now we're sitting on 400,000 negatives, all the way from 1949 to 1999, cataloged up to 1986, and they're beautiful. You want to talk about the history of Saskatoon, that is an excellent place to start.
Jeff, I'm going to interrupt you there because you know what?
No.
And I paused the photo. We make a bit of a video out of this. I paused it so we'd try not get too many winners in here. But I'm going to start playing it now, and we're going to go over to some of the guesses we have here. First of all, early on, Jen Hackett, welcome back. Thank you, Jen. We're happy to be back here. And now we have a bit of a controversy. And I'm going to try and turn off the confetti here, Jeff, for a second.
Uh-oh.
And so here it is. Jennifer said, welcome back. Thank you very much. Joan Stecken, early on, said Saskatoon Fire Hall. And I think that is the correct answer, isn't it, Jeff?
Yeah, absolutely is. Yeah. Fire Hall number 1.
So, and then, of course, just within seconds of that answer, Murray answered the old fire hall across from City Offices, which
of course he did.
Which would be correct as well, right?
Yeah, that's also the case.
Now, here's the controversy, is that Joan then answers hose and hydrant fire hall. But if we take each answer independently, answer number 1, this one is correct. So I
Yeah.
think we have to give it to Joan.
No, I'm not sure because it's not the hose and hydrant fire hall. It is fire hall number 1 across from City Hall where the library is now.
Oh boy.
So and
but
that's
if we saw this answer in isolation, we would accept it.
we would, or we might, like Alex Trebek, say, "Can I get more information?"
And
Anyway,
then the
you're the
second
boss. You
answer
decide.
is not the right fire hall because this is the one that was downtown. It's no longer there, I take it.
Yeah. This is where the Janet Morrison, where the main library is downtown. Janet Morrison. Where the heck did that come from? Anyway, that's right on the corner of 23rd and 4th Avenue, where the main library is.
Okay, that's a Francis Morrison library you're talking about.
Francis Morrison. Yeah, that's Janet Morrison's sister, Frances. Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry.
well, you know what? We may be being let off the hook by a gracious participant.
Yay,
Joan
Joan.
changed her mind. So, we're going to give this to Murray. Congratulations, Murray. You get bragging rights. We will take your answer, and thank you, Joan, for your generosity and deferring to I guess, Murray's answer or the right answer. Steve Horn says, such a pretty building, which
That's right.
I think it is. It is. Can you tell us a bit while we kind of get re-queued here for the next photo? Can you please tell us a bit about the history of this building?
Oh, sure. This is Saskatoon's, this is fire hall number 1, the main fire hall built in 1908. And it was, so we'd had our first public building really was a fire hall, was the old first fire
And I think we've
hall
lost
on
Jeff.
3rd Avenue and 21st Street, where the school board offices are now. And then this one was built in 1908. Okay. And there's a great photograph of the guys standing beside the very first motorized fire truck in Saskatoon. And then all these guys in their uniforms with their tall pointy hats. And it had a crank handle on the front, right? A crank to start it. And one of the guys in that picture, I don't know which one, was cranking it. And sometimes if you do it wrong, the thing snaps back, and he was cranking it and it snapped back, caught him in the arm and broke his arm really badly. Probably chucked him halfway across the room too.
The
so
starter,
we've got
like you'd start a car, like a...
Yeah, exactly the same thing, right? And so if you let go at the wrong moment, it'll snap back on you. I used to have a motorcycle with a kickstart, and I discovered that the hard way more than once. And in the background of the picture is the harness for the horse-drawn fire truck, right? So the fire apparatus. So it's this harness hanging from the ceiling, and they back a horse into it, and they crank it down, pop it onto the horse, tie it up underneath, and zoom out the door they'd go. So it was all about
so
out the door fast.
They couldn't leave the horse harnessed all the time. That'd be painful. You get rub sores. Yeah, of course. I never really thought of that. Interesting. Yeah. So Jeff, I think congratulations, Murray, for winning bragging rights for that. Again, I'll remind people that please guess. Everybody who guesses or offers a comment will be entered in our random draw at the end for one of 5 prizes we're giving out today. I think, Jeff, and thank you for that history. Maybe I'll start the second picture, and we're going to bring in a guest here to tell us a bit more about Heritage Festival Saskatoon, if that's okay. So,
absolutely.
Here we go. There it is. And I think that's a different picture. Yes, it is. So my blurring software doesn't really do well with bright scenes because it makes a big blotch like that. So there it is, kind of the blotchy thing. So that will kind of change over time. But meanwhile, let's bring in a guest here. Let's bring and welcome the coordinator for Heritage Festival Saskatoon, Rayanne Van Beek. Rayanne, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for being here. Heritage Festival Saskatoon, this is Tuesday. It's been underway for a bit. Can you tell us, before we talk about what's coming up, what's already happened?
So what's already happened? Oh, wow. So we opened on February 26th, and we had some tours in Gravelburg, one of the district museum, and then also one of the cathedral there. It's a beautiful cathedral. And then we've also had a Francophone game show. And as well, let's see, what else? Oh, there was yesterday, there was a talk about French archives and the newspaper Le Vive.
Awesome. Good to know. And of course, tonight there's this amazing game show.
Yes, absolutely. And I should also mention that throughout the festival, actually the festival kicked off at midnight on the 26th, or one 1201. And basically all of our exhibitors, we have over 40 exhibitors this year, and they all have pictures and links to fascinating, interesting tidbits of great information on their website. Some of them have made their own virtual exhibits. Lots of them have, and I encourage everybody to check it out. Me visiting the in-person Heritage Festival, I love it, and I learn lots. And then surprisingly, I actually, because I've been working on the website and getting all those exhibits up, I learned a lot. And I thought, oh my goodness, I really have to tell people about all of this great stuff and all these great links, because I wouldn't have otherwise visited maybe. And that's maybe a horrible thing to say, but wow, they're great. So
it's an amazing festival, and I think every time I've attended in the past, and last year I did a lot of events, so much to learn. But we're gonna have to leave it there for now, Rayanne, because I think we have an answer that we're going to accept, especially because she was so gracious with the last one. So we're gonna bring in the confetti.
I know who this is.
And now I got to get back over to the comments and put up the answer. Congratulations, Joan, for winning. It is indeed City Hall, and I paused the video, so I'm going to let it play out here, because it's not, well, it's not the main entrance that we have now. Can I say that?
That's right. This is the old, so I can tell them, right?
Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
Yeah, this is the old main entrance of old New City Hall. So this is the entrance now that we no longer use.
I'm not from out of town, and when you sent me this picture, because I, as a reporter and as a camera person, I spent a lot of time at City Hall, and I think I've actually probably gone on in an entrance around there for voting and stuff. But is that not the back entrance?
Yes, that's right. The one. So this faces 23rd Street, which is the old front door of City Hall. In 1982, there's a thing about City Hall. City Hall always has more people than it has spaces, and so. Right. In 1982, this was again the case, and so we built the new addition onto City Hall, the north end of the block, and that's where the main entrance is now. That leads into the lobby, leads into council chambers. But this is when they built brand new City Hall in 1956. This was the main door, and I'll draw your attention to that fountain there.
I'll get us out of it.
That there was a controversy over that fountain. It was. Now you can just kind of see the statue or the sculpture. It was a very modern art piece of sculpture, right. And there was a lot of pushback against modern sculpture in the 1950s in Saskatoon, and there are a couple of very famous controversies, and this is one of them. And there was a problem with getting the sculpture ready on time, and there's in a file on this subject, the city commissioner at the day, whose name I do not recall at the moment, there's a little scrawled notice, and he said, that sculpture better goddamn well be ready by blah, blah, blah. Angry little scrawl in pen at the bottom of a sheet of paper. Hilarious.
It's interesting, and I wouldn't have noticed that if you hadn't pointed it out. And for viewers at home, it's kind of the bottom right-hand part of the picture. And I can kind of make it out. It blends in a bit with the tree and behind. Yes. So and I think this is in reference to where the old City Hall was. Murray's saying it was in where the old King Edward School was. Is that what he's talking about?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Actually, the King Edward School was in front of it.
Right. Okay. And if I were to go out this back entrance and cross the street, I would be either at HMCS Unicorn or the post office.
You'd be at the Janet Morrison Library.
Oh, okay. That where the cenotaph is?
Yeah, yeah. So we're looking.
Okay, now I have the bearings. Okay, now I get it. Okay, I was turned around. Thank you so much for that, and congratulations, Joan, winning bragging rights on that photo. I'm going to try and get the other photo loaded up here. Rayanne, there's a couple events happening. There's another virtual event tomorrow. Can you tell us about that while I try and figure out how to get another video loaded?
Oh, sure. I'm super excited about tomorrow's event. So it's Robin and Arlene Carpin, and they have numerous books. They're authors and photographers of Saskatchewan's, Saskatchewan's amazing natural landscapes. And oh my goodness, we did a little rehearsal with them. and I got to see some of their pictures, and I swear, just to go on and look at those marvelous photographs is enough. But you know what? They're going to be talking about places that you can go and visit in Saskatchewan, and they have a book with tours. So that's exciting for people that might not be that might be hesitant to go out and tour and travel this summer. They'll get to maybe pick up a book and go on some of the tours with Robin and Arlene that they've suggested.
Awesome. And in the way of foreshadowing, when we come to the prizes, their name may come up again.
And if I could just add something here, if you're doing any road tripping in Saskatchewan, the book you want to have with you is Robin and Arlene Carpin's book. It's amazing resource for back roads and things you never would have thought to see, or places you never ever would have thought to go. It's like when you're going down the highway and you go, I wonder what's there. Robin and Arlene Carpin's book, that will tell you what's there. And it'll also tell you why you should go turn your car off the highway right now and go there. I highly recommend it and them.
I think I'll have to pick up a copy. You've talked about that. By the way, I've put up a third photo in the background here to keep the show moving. This one looks like it might be in color, and it's slowly coming in. I'm going to take us out of the picture so I can scratch my knee, which is suddenly itchy. And I do have to admit, before we disappeared, Jeff, before I took you off screen, can I say hello to your kitty cat?
Oh, yeah, that's Wuzzle, sitting up on top of the desk behind me. Hi, Wuzzle.
Now, to remind viewers that if you think you know what this is, please enter your guess in the comments, and you win bragging rights. You get to say, I guessed the right photo. And, of course, your name will be entered in the draw at the end of the show. So here we go. There's a bit of a countdown. We're coming up to the end. Back to the last photo on the statue, Jeff. And you may have said this, but I was busy kind of pushing buttons. Did the statue survive?
Yes, it's still there. But it hasn't. It's meant to work with water, like it's part of the fountain, and they haven't. As far as I know, they don't run it anymore. You know what? I don't get to City Hall very often, so.
Murray is guessing downtown from Nutana. I don't think that's quite accurate, Jeff.
Nope.
No, there's actually a building in here, and when it comes in, you'll know what it is. And I think we're looking probably for the name of the building.
Yeah. When it comes in, Murray, you're going to kick.
And here we go. It's going to get a little less blurry. And I, of course, know what it is. But it's one of the, I think we have maybe 2 or 3 color photos. Do we have, or maybe one of them is actually a print. I don't know if it's a photo or not. But we can talk.
So I'll admit that I don't know what the photos are. And I am eagerly, if you were to pan in on me, I'm eagerly leaning in to try to tell.
I see that. Stevie Horn is suggesting it could be RUH. That is not what it is.
Oh,
and,
Steve.
Oh, my goodness. Joan Stecken says City Hospital, which is not correct. But within seconds after that, this is why we don't give out prizes to the winners of the photos, because right after Joan gave us a guess of City Hospital. There it is.
There we go.
Joan is a super guesser.
Well, you know,
Joan
knows a lot about the city's history.
And right after, seconds later, Derek Sturgeon suggested the power plant. We probably would have accepted that. And Murray's answer, old power station. Yep. That's it.
Yep, all correct.
Jeff, get us into this photo.
Oh, yeah. This is the AL coal power plant. It the crown jewel of the provincial power grid when it was what happened was Saskatoon, of course, owned its own municipal generating station right at that spot on the riverbank at Avenue A. And that was the old Saskatoon powerhouse. And in 1928, the province was busy putting together the provincial power utility, nowadays Sask Power. And so they came and bought our old powerhouse and promptly started to build onto it until it was this station here. But then we built so this is the AL Coal, which was named after one of the Sask Power managers or somebody whose name I don't recall. Anyhow, in the 50s, of course, they built the Queen Elizabeth Power Station farther upstream, and this one immediately became obsolete. And so they mothballed it in case they ever needed extra power, and then eventually they tore it down. And the cool thing about the AL Coal was that there was a plan to change it into funky upscale condominiums. And a company built a demonstrator suite, and they had people pre-buying, and then it all fell apart. So
Can you give us a sense of what decade that was that there was the plan to
That's
convert it?
they tore it down in 1996. So it was in the early 90s when this was all coming out. There's a great article about the AL coal in a back issue of the Saskatoon History Review. So if you can lay your hands on an old copy of Saskatoon History Review, I forget the issue exactly, but a guy named Larry Burr wrote a wonderful article about the AL coal.
Right. So I moved to Saskatoon in 2000, and I never remember seeing that. At the time, I think it was a field or...
Yeah, it was gone by then. So
Okay.
when you look at the river, there's the tower. There's that octagonal brick tower, and then the flat building
Yes.
beside it. Those are the last remnants of it. The tower is the last piece of the old Saskatoon.
I always thought that was an old water treatment plant of some sort. Would it be for bringing water, putting water back in the river for the power plant?
Bringing for water to cool the turbines. So,
Right.
and actually, that the city's original power plant was built in 1907. The very first one was built in 1907, where the water treatment plant is. So they built the power plant and the water treatment plant on Avenue H and 11th in the same building. And then, as soon as it was built, Saskatoon was growing so fast that it was too small for Saskatoon. And so almost immediately they turn around and start work on a new power plant right by downtown, right by downtown. I don't want to say any more than that. And so our old power plant, our old 1907 power plant is still hiding, buried within the bowels of the water treatment plant on 11th and H.
Oh, very interesting. Now, of course, I'm going to start the next photo so we can continue, keep the show moving, but there it is. And I'll go to this view here.
I have no
when I moved
idea.
Here, of course, there was all kinds of conversation about redeveloping that land where it's sat, if I'm thinking the right area, and whether it's contaminated or not. I presume all that was remediated. And, of course, now we have, I guess, a condominium development there. And what used to be housed the Saskatoon Farmers Market, that's moved, but that building that's around there, is that the area we're talking about?
That is, yeah. So River Landing Phase 2 basically is the old AL coal power station area. And that's kind of the heart of the Riversdale industrial area. So when they talk about the theme, when they talk about redeveloping area or historical themes that run through that area, it's all about industry and power and the hunt for cheap electricity.
That probably explains why there's kind of what, for lack of a better term, I don't know what it is, but there's a transformer station of some sort still down in that area.
I suppose it must, yeah. It'll be sort of a legacy.
Going back to the photo of the power plant, Dayton says, never would have guessed that. Leslie thinks what we're talking about has been very interesting. Thank you, Leslie and Dayton, for those comments. Here's a photo, and again, with the overexposed stuff, my blurring software doesn't do the best job. But we are looking at a photo here. We are looking for answers. If you know what it is, please feel free to comment. Rayanne, getting back to you. So we have Wednesday night. We've talked about that. What are some other events? Why don't we talk about Thursday? Because it's going to be an awesome night Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday is great. And Thursday, Jeff will be there. He's going to be our host, our master of ceremonies. And it's the Heritage Variety Night at the Roxy Theatre.
And that sounds wonderful.
Yes.
Tomorrow night, what time does it start?
That is Thursday night. Starts at 7:30.
Okay.
And it's an in-person event. So come on down to the Roxy Theatre and for some great entertainment and heritage with a heritage theme. There we go.
Okay. And admission is free.
Yes. Thank you, Ian. Admission is free. Mm-hmm.
And it's taking place in an historic building. The Roxy.
Yes. Yes.
And
it's
the
a
concession
beautiful
will be open.
theater.
You can eat all kinds of wonderful buttery popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Okay. We'll get back to it in a second, but Jeff, we have a couple answers here. The traffic bridge. I don't think that is an accurate answer.
No.
What are your thoughts on this one? And boy, are we going to get a hat trick here?
I'd say we have a winner.
We do. Okay, you know what that means? It's time for popcorn. I got to get the popcorn in, or confetti. There it is.
For added bonus points, when was this taken?
Okay, there we go. The gauntlet has been laid. Congratulations, Joan, on the hat trick for the evening. You are the winner. You got it just before Dayton Hobart answered Sid Buckwold Bridge, which I think would be, of course, a correct answer. As it's more in focus now, we can see the power plant we're talking about just recently to the right. But to me, it does look like it's under construction, this bridge, now that it's more in focus.
That's right. So this is 1965, and you can see if you look at a 1966. Okay, close enough.
Close.
It's 65 or 66. I actually don't know precisely when this is taken, but it's close to the end of construction. And what's cool about the Buckwell Bridge is it is built on the location of the original railway bridge across the river when they built the first railway here in 1890, where the Sid Buckwell Bridge is now. That's where that bridge crossed the river. That's the railway bridge leading up into downtown. And when you drive the Idlewild Freeway, by no coincidence at all, you were driving along exactly the right-of-way of the old railway, because when the city was trying to get the downtown railway yards out of downtown, they bought the entire railway right-of-way, all the way from the Nutana yards from Lorne Avenue, all the way up to where they come into downtown. And they used it to build their brand new freeway into downtown.
Very interesting. And as we look at this, I'll let it play out here. I don't know if this is the final de-blurred one or not. But, well, no, we looped back to the beginning, so I'm going to fast forward here toward the end and hit pause again. If I were to look at this picture, I can see is it ALCO power plant on the right? Yeah. The bridge with two approaches. Now, having moved here in 2000, just to the left, is that the old barn or the old rink that they often
is exactly what that is. That's the Saskatoon Arena, built in the height of the Great Depression, 1937. So one of the worst years of the Depression, 1937, and two guys are standing having a cigarette somewhere, and one says, "You know what this town needs? It needs a brand new rink with an artificial ice service." It's like, okay, let's do it. It's like, really?
Okay, so wait. This rink did not have artificial ice?
It did have artificial ice. It's the first one it's the first rink in Saskatoon to have artificial ice.
I'm with you now. Okay, I'm getting it now. Okay, I'm sorry, a little behind. Carry on.
Well, prior to that, the hockey season in Saskatoon was determined by the weather. So if we had a winter that started early, hockey could start early. And if your playoffs were still going and we got a sudden thaw in March, your playoffs were toast. So these two guys, couple of guys working in a warehouse in downtown Saskatoon, basically said we should start a committee and raise money and build a brand new artificial ice rink. And so they did.
And this is it.
This is it. Yeah, it was the greatest ice palace in all of Western Canada.
Wow.
Until it wasn't.
And it's not there now. And I'm going to put us back up here, and I'm going to start working on getting the next photo up. But of course, we have SaskTel Center now. And of course, there are now conversations starting about moving arena back downtown. Right.
Well, and you could talk for hours about the great downtown versus Marquis, whatever that area is, in the 1980s. A great debate over where to put the new arena. Great. But yeah, so we're going to have that conversation again.
Joan, congratulations on getting the right answer. Hat trick. Are you going to try for a fourth? What is a four? What is four? Is that a hat trick plus one? I don't know what you'd call it. A compliment here for you, Jeff. Joan saying, loves the knowledge, incredibly interesting.
Thank you, Joan.
We're going to bring the next photo in. There it is. Let it do its de-blurring. And Rayanne, thanks again for being here and sharing with us some of the events for Heritage Festival Saskatoon. The event tomorrow, Roxy, 7:30 p.m., free admission. It's going to be a bit
event
of
Thursday.
Thursday.
Tomorrow's Wednesday.
Today's only Tuesday. Right. Okay.
You're doing what I was doing last week.
Yes. Tuesday, March 1.
Yeah.
So we're all on the same page now. But the event is Thursday at the Roxy.
Yep.
As this photo comes in. And there's going to be some musical performances, and they're going to be talking as well.
Yeah, a little bit of talking, or a little bit more talking. I'm not really sure, but we're super excited that Jeff is coming to share his knowledge and introduce our guests and whatnot. But again, if you love Jeff, come on out to Heritage Friday night, because we have more of Jeff. Aren't we lucky? And I say that very seriously.
This photo we're looking at, Jeff, can we give some hints? Maybe that it doesn't exist at its current location?
No, that it does not. So the picture, where this picture is taken, although that location still exists in Saskatoon, it doesn't look like this anymore.
And do you think we're looking for our answer going to be an event that's taking place, or the physical thing that's in the picture?
I think the physical thing.
Yeah, okay.
The event is happening around the thing.
Yeah. And so far, no guests, but our time is off. And I'll give a hint to some viewers out there. I noticed that Joan is watching on YouTube. We find that YouTube is about 5 or 10 seconds ahead of Facebook.
Oh.
So that could be a bit of a, not to mention, Joan is very knowledgeable, and she's probably guessing with her own prowess of guessing, but she does have a bit of advantage that way possibly.
Well, I have to say kudos to both of you for picking all these great photos. Yeah, I love them.
I'm going to have to pass the kudos to Jeff because he just sent them to me and I blurred them.
No, I sent you a whole bunch, and you picked the ones that worked. So I was gonna pass the kudos on to you, to be quite honest. Okay, now you guys should know this. This is an obvious one. Come on, ring those phones.
We have enough viewers that, oh, there it is. There's a huge jump. So they better get it now. I'm going to pause it here because this is the last.
I have a guess, but I'm not going to say anything. And I'm super excited to see if I'm even close.
Jeff, I'm hoping I can ask you about the sign in the top left.
Where it says Toronto General Trust?
Yes, I'm curious about that.
That's a bank. So that's a sign. That's a sign on the corner of a building.
We have a winner. Any guesses on who?
Joan.
Yay!
There it is. Congratulations, Joan. 4 guesses and 4 wins. I guess there's one other winner tonight. Derek Sturgeon, just after a guess, the clock on 21st Street by Winston's. I know the clock. He's thinking that's the Burke's clock, isn't it?
Yeah, no, so that's not it.
That's still there. No, this is the cenotaph. And Jeff, maybe you can start talking about this because I think it still exists, just not there.
Oh yeah, sure. So this is the Saskatoon cenotaph, and I don't remember what year this picture was taken, but the cenotaph was built in 1929, and they plunked it right smack in the middle of the busiest street in all of Saskatoon. It's like, is there a busier street we could put it in? No, I can't think of one. Excellent, let's put it there. There was actually an argument about that because the engineers said, traffic, and then the other people said, yeah, but we want it to be in a place that's a natural gathering place, right? Because you got the railway at one end, and okay, well, you have the Besborough at the other end, not in 1929, but eventually. And so 21st Street is kind of the natural axis of downtown Saskatoon. And so it makes sense to put the cenotaph there. And so it was unveiled on November 11th, 1929. But you know what happens is after the war, the number of automobiles on Saskatoon streets tripled, right? From 1946 to 61, the number of people in Saskatoon doubled, but the number of cars tripled. And it caused a whole bunch of changes, including that freeway we talked about earlier, but also moving the cenotaph out off of 21st and putting it where City Hall had used to be. So that's where the cenotaph is now.
And this is an event, I presume it could be... It could be Remembrance Day.
This is a November 11th event. I just don't remember what year this is, but it's definitely a November 11th event.
Gotcha. Okay. You bring us back in the corner. So if you're ready, Jeff and Rayanne, you're going to be on TV here in a second.
All right.
I kind of thought it was a bank. The thing that piqued my interest in this era of low interest rates is 4% on savings.
Yeah, seriously.
I would kill for 4% on my savings.
Yeah.
But that's a sign of the times. And that's interesting because when you sent me the photo, the first thing I saw was, why is it in the middle of the street? So it's good to get the knowledge of it. Now, I will share with viewers in the background near the top toward the left is the Flanagan Hotel. You did send a picture of the Flanagan Hotel. I couldn't get it to work for the aspect ratio, but I think I noticed in the photo you sent it had some sort of tower. And if I'm looking at this photo in the background, there's no kind of dome over the corner in this one.
Well, now that's interesting. Okay, because I think that on the list I sent you that it said, the notes I have, which I just looked at when I was off camera, it says 1929, but this is not 1929.
Could it be?
No, because they took the tower down. Okay, but Stevie, if the tower's not on if the cupola is not on the Flanagan, that didn't come down until 1945.
Okay, and am I right? Am I looking at it correctly? That's not there.
Oh, I can't tell.
So we lean it. I
gotta put my glasses on and look in. That's very bizarre. No, I don't know what's going on, unless I just can't see it.
Amazing photo. Love the hats, says Valerie. And Murray, what's it? Murray looks like 1929. The later photo had the SLI after World War II. Well, I don't know what SLI is.
That's a Saskatoon Light Infantry.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. Well, a bit of interest and a bit of intrigue. And I'll take this opportunity to put us all back on big screen, and I can get rid of this video there.
Well, and this
Very
is a
interesting.
local history room photograph, so Stevie should know. Right? If anybody's going to know about local history room photographs, it's Stevie Horn.
Okay.
Which is why she's not allowed to guess. Stevie, you're not allowed to guess.
Well, maybe this one isn't one, and maybe she can guess on this one. Maybe it's time to start the next photo. Here we go. We'll get it up there. And I think
So Ian, I looked up what 4 is. 3 is a hat trick, and 4 is called a hall.
A hall.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Joan, on your haul. I like that. You may have to look up what 5 is.
I have it right in front of me. We'll wait and unveil that.
We have another photo here. I'm going to take us out so people can concentrate on that. Fascinating stuff. Oh, I know what this is. I remember now. But again, I apologize. The earlier ones, it has kind of that white blob. Damien, if he was here, would be making fun of me and my blurring software. Let's get back to the events of this week. So we talked about Thursday. What's the next event in your lineup?
Oh, Friday.
Friday, okay.
We have, well, we needed something for Friday. And so Friday, we're doing a Friday night rerun. So we're showing we're going to be featuring our video that we did from last year. So it's got some entertainment and it's got some exhibitors. And so, yeah, that's kind of nice. If you're enjoying Friday night reruns, we recommend that. And then on Saturday, the Museum of Antiquities is hosting a Saturday afternoon crafternoon.
Crafternoon. I like the name.
Yeah. And so they're going to be making a craft called Window into the Past. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a stained glass-ish kind of craft. And look on our website, heritagefestivalofsaskatoon.com, for details on that. It's in room 106, the Peter McKinnon building.
Okay.
And it's on campus, so masks are required. It's from 1 until 4, and it's drop-in activity for families.
Awesome. Sounds like all kinds of fun things happening. We're getting less blurry here, Rayanne and Jeff. And here we go. One more little switch in. I don't know if this is the final. I don't think it is. But there it is. Jen Hackett, you commented at the beginning of the show. If you're still watching, I would suggest that your husband may have an idea of what this building is. I believe he's done some research on the subject that would have been involving this building, so to speak. No guests yet.
What?
But there it is. This building no longer exists, right?
Right. It was torn down some years ago. There we go.
There we go. I think we have a winner. Congratulations. Dun, da, da, da. Murray. Are we going to go with that answer? We better, because we've rolled the confetti, so we have to go with that answer. Congratulations. Hey. This is indeed the TB Sand, which no longer exists. I used to take my kids to a daycare down near there, and I'd bike through it because I found it kind of a peaceful area.
Well, you know, I came to Saskatoon in the early 90s, and I discovered this one day in, I don't know, about 1998 or so, and I was driving somewhere, not the south end of Avenue K. I was completely lost, and I found this park. I found actually a chain across the road that said "Do not enter." So I entered, of course, and I'm like in this mysterious empty park, and I thought there used to be a building here. These are grounds that were recently manicured and they've been let to go wild. What the heck is this place? It was beautiful and sad and lonely and mysterious. And I wondered if I might have, slipped through a thin spot between the universes into a different place. Anyway, so my parents and I actually used to picnic there, go there for lunches, not long after the building is gone, but went into the park that once was. So my memory of Saskatoon doesn't include this building.
Right, gotcha. So if I'm looking at this, is the river, where's the river in relation to
You're
where
right.
we're looking?
So we're looking north.
Right. Okay.
We're looking north of Avenue K, and so we're at the back of the sanatorium, and the front doors are on the other side of it. In the trees to your right is the Bowerman House, which was the physician's residence, the superintendent's residence, and which is still in the trees to your right. You can't see it, but
Okay.
there is a
Yeah.
beautiful old house. It was built in 1907 by a guy named Alan Bowerman. It's
Kind of a log cabin-y thing?
that's right. It was his hunting
Oh, it's
lodge.
beautiful.
Yes, and it's still there, still owned by the city as a heritage building. But for years
Okay.
and years, from the 1920s until the 80s, it was the superintendent's residence for the sanatorium.
So this building, it runs north-south in orientation?
East-west,
East-west. Okay.
right? So
Okay, I'm
lengthwise.
with you now. So it's looking north. Okay, so the lake is to the right. Got you. Okay. Because there's almost the remnants of, for lack of, let me say, a drop-off circle almost with
Yeah,
some
well,
big pine trees.
that's the driveway that comes in. So you come down. So Avenue K is on the right. So you come down Avenue K on the right, drop off,
Right.
curve around, go up. On the left is the nurse's residence, that building sitting alone on the left.
Okay.
And you can just kind of see a little square house at the very top of the frame on the right-hand side. There was a group of 4 square houses that were built up Avenue K, and they were for staff, for doctors
Okay.
that worked there. And they were all heated by steam from the sanatorium. So when the sanatorium was torn
Okay.
down in 88 or 89, they took those houses out.
The daycare I went to back, when my kids were young, going to daycare was a residential situation, and the family, they lived in the area for a while. Before it was torn down, they would kind of go win it when it was abandoned. And I don't know if I should share this, but there were patient X-rays in there.
Oh my God.
Don't know if I should share that, but then it was gone. So
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm going to bring us back on screen here, just to give you a bit of warning. And there it is. There's an octagonal building, kind of in the bottom of the picture. Would that be a pump house of sorts, or what would that be?
I kind of think that it's a
Really good
little
trees.
like a bandstand, that kind of idea,
Right.
gazebo-ish sort of thing.
Okay. I see it now. Okay.
You know, the thing
So-
about
No, go
the
ahead.
thing about TB is before there was antibiotics, it was incurable. And so what they would do is they would good food, bed rest, and sunshine. And that's a sunshine to boost your immune system, because what it needed was a long rest to let your immune system get up into high gear, wall off the infection so that you weren't spewing out, tuberculosis every time you coughed. And so that's why you've got those long galleries at the top, right? That's places for the patients to go out in the sunshine. When the King and Queen came in 1939, they toured the sanatorium and they pulled all the patients out on their beds, wheeled them out. This is June, of 1989, July 89, 39, anyhow, forget it. And they pulled all the patients out on their beds so that the King and Queen could go by in their car and see them all out in the sunshine in their beds.
In 89, when was it closed?
39. It was closed in it.
39. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. It stopped being a tuberculosis hospital in the late 1960s. I actually talked to a lady who was treated there in the 60s, and then it was a seniors facility for a very short time, and then was torn down in 1988 or 89.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. And of course, I mean, there are TB SANs across the country, and there's this huge effort to build these facilities to help cope with it. And it's interesting as we now experience another pandemic and the kind of massive moving, I guess, things and the way we're trying to deal with this pandemic as well. Congratulations, Barry, on the correct answer. That came in at 7:38 according to our calculations. Sylvia Avenue guessed TB SAN at 7:39. Jennifer at 7:39 was thanking me for the hint, and then at 7:39 as well, a bit later, guessed the sanatorium, which would have been which is the correct answer, but not the earliest. Jen is mentioning that she's not doing well with guesses, that she grew up in Ottawa, but you're here now, and you're one of us. You're a Saskatoonian, Jennifer. Thank you for that, and I'm going to make us a full screen like that and get rid of this photo. Interesting photos, and I'm going to bring up the next one. Here it is coming up. Oh, now I got to remember which one is. Okay, this is 7, so we have 3 remaining photos, and we're loading this guy in. There it goes. This one could be interesting.
You should get it right now.
Congratulations to everybody that's guessed already, and if you guessed correctly, congratulations to everybody that's sticking around and playing with us. In my view, in the software we use, it gives us a viewer count, and I'm really happy that people aren't tuning out that we still continue to have lots of viewers, Rayanne, which is
That's because
exciting.
you have brilliant guests.
We have brilliant guests. That's it. Thank you, Jennifer and Rayanne. You bring the average up. What do we have here? Well, maybe while we wait for it to de-blur, if you can make de-blur a word or not. So we're at Saturday. We talked about some events. Anything else happening virtually, perhaps, on Saturday?
Virtually on Saturday. Oh my. I'm just looking at this picture here and I'm thinking, isn't that interesting? Because it looks like it's in black and white, but it has color in it. So I find that really interesting,
You're right. The blotchiness is colored. Jennifer
Yeah.
says she's learning lots.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to tell you about Saturday. Speaking of learning lots, on Saturday at 1 o'clock, we have another speaker series event, an hour with Lisa Bird Wilson. And so she's going to, and you can watch that right here on No YXE or Heritage Festival of Saskatoon on Facebook. And she's going to be talking about her brand new book, Probably Ruby. And so, yeah, that's going to be really exciting. Ruby is a character in her book, and Ruby was adopted. So she's going to be talking the book's central themes of adoption, indigeneity, and identity. And Ruby is very lovable. So we're all going to want to rush out and get her new book right after we've talked with her.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to listening to that presentation as well, because of course I get to direct it behind the scenes. Jeff, we have a couple of guests here.
Let's see.
Guesses, not guests. Guests, we have a couple of guests. You are two guests, but also, I don't think this is right. If we have the right photo, it's not the Eaton's building. Ari is guessing is that the old Eaton's building, now the school board. It's interesting that those are the guesses. Two of the guests, Ari and Joan, making guesses. I didn't even know there was an Eaton's building in town, but those are not the right answers. Where would the Eaton's building have been in town? Is it downtown where the school board is?
It is the school board building. So it was Eaton's from 1928 to 1970. Then it was the Army and Navy, and now it's the public school board.
Why did I think that was a Woolworth building or Woolco or something? Am I getting my buildings wrong, being from out of town?
There was there might have been a Woolworths down there somewhere, but that was the Eaton's, yeah.
Okay.
This is not the Eaton's.
At some point, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm going to give you the question. You can answer it next year. Are there any of the Eaton's catalog homes left in Saskatoon?
Well, that's a good question, because occasionally we get people say, I think my house is an Eaton's catalog home, or a catalog, because there were other companies besides Eaton's. Les Henry, who kind of wrote the book on catalog homes in Saskatchewan, says that they were rarely built in Saskatoon, in the cities, because mostly they were built in places, rural areas, where there weren't the same access to lumber yards and construction people. Because a catalog home, some of them arrived basically at your door as a box full of pieces, and you put them all together like buying a house from IKEA. So there probably are Eaton's home in Saskatoon, but Les Henry says that they are a very rare bird.
Interesting. I thought there's one on I somewhere.
And there might be, but it would be hard to tell unless you could tie it directly to a known floor plan. And you know what'll happen, right? Is a builder will buy 3 lots and build 3 houses exactly the same, because why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
It's like, I got to build a house, so I'm going to buy one set of plans or write one set of plans and then cut all my boards the same length and build 3 houses. And so people look at that and think, well, it must be a catalog house because they're all the same, but probably it's the same little builder putting them together. And I see we have a winner.
We do. I'm going to go back there, and that confetti is amazing. This we have 2 right answers. Murray Patrick Scharf suggested answered Barry Hotel on 20th and Avenue B. Correct, but unfortunately, Ari, and congratulations, Ari. Unfortunate for Murray, fortunate for Ari that he guessed just a few seconds before. So congratulations, Ari. It is the Barry Hotel.
Right.
And I was really glad that we could get in there. there's the Barrie, then there's the Albany. The Albany building is still there, right? And it's the
Yeah.
Barrie that was torn down.
Yeah. So the Albany now is a housing place. I'm not sure what the word I want. Not halfway house, but it's that kind of idea.
Okay.
But they were both hotels, and actually the Barrie was a very expensive, very grand, well-appointed hotel. This picture is taken shortly after it was completed. I think the date we have on this is 1912, but that's not correct. It was built in 1912, but that's a streetcar in front of it, and there were no streetcars going down 20th Street until 1913.
Right.
So, and then
the
that
streetcar I find fascinating. That of course, there were streetcars. We don't have any now. Every now and then, when the roads get really poor, I see the remnants of track and places.
yes.
Downtown, but...
Oh, sure. Lots of streets, they just paved them over. And
Right.
occasionally city crews, when they're out doing some work where they have to dig through a street, discover to their great dismay that there's a streetcar track there that they have to now deal with that they didn't take into account. So I'll say,
Right.
you know, you should call me first. So that in the background there, that horse-drawn cart, that is the Barrie Hotel taxi, right, that people
Okay.
took to get to and from the railway station.
And
Oh,
the
wow.
railway station is where Midtown is?
Yes.
Or
So
would
they
it be Idlewild and 25?
no. Well, I suppose they could go to the CPR as well, but the main
Okay.
passenger station into downtown is the CNR station on
Gotcha.
First
Okay.
Avenue, facing down 21st.
Wow, incredible. And of course, the Barrie Hotel's, the building is gone. There's the Albany across the street, which is open, but something else, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay. Okay. And
Hostel.
we're going to bring ourselves back on here. Congratulations to Ari for winning bragging rights. Of course, with a guess, you'll be entered in the draw at the end of the evening. Going to bring us back on so I can bring the picture out here. And while I'm here, I'm going to bring this slide up. I couldn't bring it up when you were talking about it because we're in the middle of the photo, but there it is. That's a virtual presentation on Saturday at 1 p.m., right? With Lisa.
That's
We're
right.
looking forward to that, and you can watch it here on YXE, a Heritage Festival Saskatoon as well, on their Facebook page. So I'm really looking forward to that. We need another photo.
And you know, right after, while you're looking up the photos, right afterwards, and I'm just thinking, I don't think I made a slide for this, and that was my bad. It slipped my mind. Right after Lisa Bird Wilson talks, we have a cultural conversation, the history and the contribution of the African culture in Canada, and that's at 2
Wow.
p.m. and that's on our Heritage Festival Facebook page, and it's bilingual.
That would be very interesting. I'm looking forward to, because we'll wrap up the 1 o'clock one and get to the 2 o'clock one. I can watch and participate in that one. I'm looking forward to it. Interesting.
Mhm.
Ian,
Yes.
I think I want to guess that this is a still from the movie Sharknado 5.
Yes, I
You're
was thinking
correct.
that.
It almost looks like a tidal wave coming in
Yeah.
or something, or a shark fin. You're right. Thank you for the guess. It is not the correct answer. We do have
Damn.
somebody guessing already. Oh, Ari. Ari is teasing. Ari's a frequent watcher, and he complains that I always have the same shirt on, which I hang on the back of my chair here, and I put on when I have to be on TV. And he complained to the point where he actually sent me over a Hawaiian shirt to wear once. So
Oh, that's awesome.
Ari's thing. Stevie's kind of the noir Sharknado. The comment from Stevie. Rand, while we're waiting for this to de-blur, and I'm going to make that a word.
Okay.
Anything else you want to share with us about Heritage Festival Saskatoon?
Well, it wraps up on the Sunday, March 6th, and I don't think we've talked about that. That is the day where the Western Development Museum is offering free admission to the museum all day from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. And we have afternoon entertainment in person by the Whiskey Jerks.
Oh, awesome. And free admission. You gotta like free. So Thursday's free, Sunday's free.
Yep, absolutely. And actually, I say we wrap that up, but I'm also going to suggest that all the people who might not be comfortable or might not be able to make it out to the Heritage Variety Night on Thursday, we're going to try to air a recording of our Variety Night on Sunday evening.
Oh, good stuff.
But if you
Yes.
can make it,
What's that?
you should make it. Right? If you can make it on Thursday, you should make it, because then in years to come, when people talk about what they were doing this Thursday, you could say, I was there. I was there. I saw them on stage. I was there. That's bragging rights.
I think that would be worth it.
I'll be
Kind of
there.
looks like opening credits from Airplane, where the plane comes out of the clouds, Ari says. That could be. 1977 Airplane, I believe. I haven't watched that lately. I think we have a right answer. I'm going to get ready. I'm going to put the answer up. And if you think it's right, I'll start the confetti, Jeff.
Is right. It is the original 1907 traffic bridge under construction.
There it is. Congratulations to Joan. Is that her fifth or sixth? No.
Fifth, I think.
Fifth? And did you have a chance to look up number 5? What 5 is? Their hat trick, and then it was...
A glut. A glut. G-L-U-T, a glut.
Congratulations on your glut. Shortly after, Ari said CPR train bridge. Good guess. It's not quite right, but yeah, Joan has the right answer. Congratulations, Joan, on your glut. Jeff, tell us about this picture, and I'll let it deblur.
Okay, well, the original traffic bridge was built. Work started in 1906. They finished in October of 1907. It is the first traffic bridge across the South Saskatchewan River. So a traffic bridge, of course, is a bridge for people and cars, not for trains. And prior to the building of this bridge, the only way to get back and forth across the river, well, there's two ways. In the wintertime, you could walk across because, winter. But the rest of the year, you either had to take the ferry, which had issues of its own, or you could walk across the railway bridge. And there was no foot or road attachment to the railway bridge. So you could walk across the railway bridge, but you were kind of walking across the middle of the railway bridge. And every now and then, there'd be a train. But at one point, it was estimated that maybe a third of the people or more coming to Saskatoon from the east simply tied up their horses in the trees at the Nutana side of the railway bridge and walked across the bridge to get into Saskatoon, because the ferry was a pain in the butt. Awkward, unreliable, slow, occasionally broke down. Once the ferry cable broke and the people crossing into Saskatoon ended up in Clark's Crossing, which was not on their travel itinerary for that day. So the building of the traffic bridge was a fantastically important moment in Saskatoon's history. And this is the bridge that was torn down, of course, because they never painted it, and so it rusted and fell down. But they built a brand new traffic bridge which looks very much like it and is actually wider, so it's not quite as frightening.
Well, and it's interesting because when I moved here in 2000, being from out of town, I'd crossed this bridge, and I'd take it because it was where we're living and getting downtown. It seemed like the bridge. I found it narrow, and in my mind, I thought this must have been a train bridge at one point. But of course, I'm completely wrong.
Well, and it looks a bit like a train bridge, and sometimes people say, oh yeah, that used to be a train bridge, or wasn't that a train bridge? But what they're doing is they're conflating two things, because just upstream of it is, of course, the original CNR train bridge, which looked a lot like it, except it wasn't a camelback Parker through truss, which is what this is. The camelback is that kind of humpy back kind of look to the arches.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Again, congratulations on your glut, Joan. That's 5 photos. You were coming back on screen, guys, just so you know. We're going to bring up the next photo. But Murray saying, thanks, going to Biden, enjoyed. I don't know if Biden is a place or whether something's happening that we don't know about in the world. Is Biden doing an address to the nation that we don't know about? Or is it a place? But thank you very much for playing, Murray. It's been wonderful to have you. I'm going to get this picture out of here, which means I have to bring us on full screen. Fun fact about Ian, I remember they did kind of a bit of a renovation. They tried to put some lights on the bridge and they opened it for a while. Then there was a day they closed it to inspect it. It might have been a Sunday. And I recall, and I don't know if you can hear my cuckoo clock in the background. I apologize for that. Must mean we're getting close to 8 o'clock and we have one photo left. Must have been a Sunday they closed it. And I remember they opened it Monday during the day. And I remember traveling it on Monday. And Monday around supper time, they closed it. And it said, it's done. Based on the inspection they did on Sunday. So I'm one of the last people to travel across the old Victoria Bridge. Or traffic bridge. Can I call it Victoria Bridge?
You can, but the bridge wasn't officially named until 2007.
And that's where it's got its name, Traffic Bridge?
Or
Victoria Bridge?
The phrase, well, I mean, it was called a lot of things, but in city correspondence and in the traffic bridge, a lot of bridges were called traffic bridge. I mean, the University Bridge was called the 25th Street Traffic Bridge, and that kind of thing.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
But
okay, I get it now. Yeah.
but in city correspondence and original correspondence, that bridge was always referred to as a traffic bridge. And so when
Okay.
City Council officially named it in 2007, which they hadn't done in 1907, they officially named it the traffic bridge. So you can call it the Victoria Bridge if you want, but it's not the right name. Sorry.
That's interesting. I guess the thing is, you have a traffic bridge or you have a train bridge, and you can call that a traffic bridge.
Yeah,
No?
it's both a proper and a common noun.
Ari has a point. Every kid who learned to drive had to do a rite of passage, entering that bridge from the east side going into downtown. A white knuckle moment.
That's right.
Ari also then guesses that it's the Caswell School, which I can
No.
see why you might think that's the Caswell School. Is this a photo or is it a print, by the way, Jeff?
It is a postcard taken from a photograph. So it's a colored postcard taken from an original photograph, made from. And it's not the Caswell School.
But here we go, Jeff. Rianne, you may want to look up 6.
Oh, no.
I have 6, you bet.
Is that the correct answer, Mr.
That is-
O'Brien?
That is Old City Hall. And although and give Ari his due, this is Old City Hall when it was still King Edward School.
So it was, because I do recall when I moved here in 2000, a lot of schools have a very distinct, beautiful look.
Yes. And so this was, and in fact, the funny thing about this school, so this is where the cenotaph is now, that's where this is. And when they built it as a school in 1904, people living in Saskatoon, and when I say Saskatoon, I mean the downtown, because that's Saskatoon, right? Across the river's Nutana. People living in Saskatoon complained because it was so far out, right? Because it's way off the other side of 23rd Street.
Wow.
Well, everybody else in Saskatoon is living, 19th Street, 20th Street, like the railway station in 1904 is still on First Avenue looking down 20th Street, right? It hasn't moved up to 21st Street yet. And so everybody's clustered down by the river. And so this is way off, is way off in the sticks. Why'd you build a school out there? And the school board says, well, because the city's going to grow out here, which of course it did.
Right.
And then in 1909 or 1910, somewhere around there, the city was looking for new offices because we had like nothing by way of City Hall. And Saskatoon was in this huge growth spurt, like a teenager, growing out of his pants every 3 weeks. And so they cut a deal with the school board and took over this building and made it into a City Hall.
Interesting. Oh, there it is, and there's the final. Oh, I didn't notice that when I was digitizing. There's a horse and buggy in the bottom left, and a car in the bottom right. I didn't notice this.
And one of the
Um,
bells at the
sorry?
top, you can see the
There's a
bell at the top.
Yes.
Mhm.
No, I don't know where it is,
Mm.
You don't know where the bell is?
where the bell is.
Were you
Caswell School
were you
recently
pre-answering
found
my
their
question?
bell.
Did
What?
Caswell find their bell?
Yep,
Where
I
is
think
it?
it's. Isn't it on their lawn?
I don't
Oh,
know.
that's right. I think it is. Yeah, or a bell, which could be the Caswell bell, is on the lawn. I'm going to start the conspiracy theories. Congratulations to everybody. Congratulations to Joan. What is a 6?
Double hat trick.
A double hat trick. That
Well,
seems
that's boring.
fairly straightforward.
I want to call it a Hellapalooza.
Yes.
Palooza. That might
I
work
like
too. We have a
the
couple more
guess.
comments here. Is that a buggy in one of the original bike lanes? Oh,
Yep,
Ari.
that's right.
Bike
Yeah, we
politics.
got our first bike lane in Saskatoon in 1907.
Oh, okay.
We're all bike lanes in
Uh,
1907.
What is a story? Joan's saying a story of an old Habitat for Humanity fundraiser was to build a playhouse of a historical building. Our group did this one. That'd be some kind of insider information, sort of, or I guess some knowledge of what it'd be like to do that.
Because I was looking at that one going, thinking, this one's pretty obscure. I bet you no one's going to get it.
Didn't somebody guess our first photo? Didn't they guess the old City Hall for?
Yeah. Yeah,
Which
well,
I thought was interesting.
we talked about that, and I thought, better be careful. Don't want to talk too much about old City Hall because I don't want people to go, oh, yeah, that'll be that. Anyway, it's all good.
Jeff, Rayanne, that was our last photo. It's time to give out the prizes. Are you ready for that?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Here we go. Dun, da, da, da. Here's our auto prize generator. And the first winner is Murray Patrick Scharf. Congratulations, Murray. If you can reach out to me by Facebook message, or I'll put an email up at the end, and you can reach out to me that. What is the prize? We were drawing for, and I should have mentioned that first, we're drawing for this, which is a $50 gift certificate to the Western Development Museum. Congratulations on winning that prize. And I should probably write that down, or Rayanne, if you have a free hand, could I impose upon you to write down the winners' names?
Certainly.
So keep track of it. Yeah, Murray Patrick Scharf is the winner of that. Our next prize is a copy of this book by two of our speakers that are coming on, The Bucket List, by Robin and Arlene Carpan. And of course, these prizes are courtesy of the Heritage Festival of Saskatoon. We're thrilled that they're partners with us in this evening of blurry photos. We're going to go back to this page here, and we're going to do the draw again. See who wins this one. I'll keep just the draw up.
It feels like one of those wheels that kind of goes really slowly at the end.
It does, yeah. It's kind of digital slowness. Congratulations, Joan. So what was 6 again? Is it Sixapalooza?
A double hat trick.
Double hat trick. But you came up
Oh,
with
but you had a good name,
cool,
Jeff.
Fun name too.
Palooza.
Joan has won this book. Congratulations. The Bucket List. Okay, what's our next prize? It's going to be a book again. And it's the other book, Saskatchewan's Best Scenic Drives. And Jeff, you're talking a lot. You think this book is wonderful. Again, it's by Robin and Arlene Carpan, who are speaking Wednesday night. Is that right?
Yes. 7:30.
Here we go. Who gets this book? Ari, congratulations on your win. Again, if you win a prize, please reach out to me by Facebook Messenger or email. I'll put it on at the end here. Or if you have other ways, like my phone number, or you can text me as well. And some of these people, I recognize their names. They may or may not have my phone number. What's our next prize? It is going to be Lisa Bird Wilson's book, Possibly Ruby. So we're really looking forward to that. Here's the webpage. It's available at McNally Robinson. We'll do the draw for this. Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. We should have the sound.
It reminds me of The Price is Right.
There you go. Something I learned. I was 2 years old when I learned with this StreamYard kind of winning thing, you can win twice.
Cool.
Congratulations, Ari. That's his second prize for the night.
Ari's going to
And
be
what do we
reading
have
up.
here? We have Saskatoon History Review. Jeff, do you know anything about this book?
This is the most recent edition of the Saskatoon History Review, which is Saskatoon's own historical journal, published once a year, every year, since 1985. And there is a truly brilliant article about the Magic City, Saskatoon, and the search for industry by some guy.
Some guy.
Actually,
the same name as you.
he does, yeah, bastard. Anyway, there's some great articles in this one. It's worth the read.
Here we go.
The
our
Magic
final
City,
prize.
is that have to do with Factoria?
It's definitely Factoria.
Woo!
Congratulations, Valerie. You're a winner of the book. Saskatoon History Review. Okay, stand by to come back on camera, you two. We're on camera. There it is. That's it. We've given out the prizes. Do we have any comments here? Well done. This was fun, Stevie's saying. Joan, thanks. Looking forward to using it. I think that's in reference to the prize she won. And Ari, randomness likes me. It really, really likes me. There it is. Congratulations on your 2 prizes, Ari. There we go. Jeff, Rayanne, thank you so much. You've been very gracious guests on this special episode. I know if we're all around, next March, I'd be loved, or next February, whenever the next Heritage Festival is. I would love to do this again with you. And Jeff, thank you so much for all the work you put in finding the photos. They're amazing photos and they worked really well. I had a lot of fun and I learned just like everybody else. Rayanne, anything else you want to share with us about the event this week? I think we kind of covered most of it.
Visit our website, heritagefestivalofsaskatoon.com, and I'd really like to thank you for the big role that you've played. I enjoyed having us on here and being here. This was lots of fun, and thank you, Jeff, for doing this too. And yeah, and then you're playing another role in that you're going to be helping us along with our streaming and our technical of some of our speaker sessions, and so we really appreciate that. That's No YXE, and they're sponsoring our festival. So,
and we're proud to do it. Before I forget, if you don't have Facebook Messenger, you can get a hold of me for prizes at intheknow@noyxe.com. Jeff, again, thank you so much for being a part of it. Really, really appreciate your knowledge and your enthusiasm for the city and heritage, both of you. That's it for here.
For giving us this opportunity. This was great.
Lots of fun. Please take in other events throughout this week. Don't forget Sunday is free admission day at Western Development Museum. Take that in. Thursday night is the event at 7:30 at Roxy. Take those in. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you again.